I want to talk about Oprah and um, because very um, uh, uh, a star, superstar, um, and I just remember in 1986 when Oprah burst onto the scene. Um, I think Oprah was someone that was different. I think she was different than um, uh, uh, black women that you saw on TV when it came to the talk show host. I think she was different. I think Oprah was intelligent. She spoke very well. She can communicate very well. She was educated. And I didn't see anybody like that when it came to the talk show host, when it came to African American women. Women, when it came to the talk show host, because again, when she was the news anchor, I really didn't see much of her with that either. But I think that when Oprah came to the show, I think she gave up herself too. She opened up herself to the audience. I think she talked about her weight issues, and I think she gave some things with her and Stedman, but I don't think that she gave a lot, but she gave a little of her and Stedman. But I think that she gave up herself. She spoke about herself, and somewhat. She didn't keep everything personal. She didn't keep. Oprah can cry at any moment. When it was, even if the camera was there. I think she showed a part of herself, and I think because of that, people was able to talk about their lives. Because she talked about hers, in so many ways, but I think Oprah was different than a person that was public, that was on TV as a talk show host. Usually, if you saw them as news anchor women, they wouldn't really talk about themselves. But because Oprah got the show, and she had so many different people on there, she talked about herself too, But I think in some ways that in order to have contact with the audience, you gotta give something. You gotta give up something, and she did it. And Oprah did. I think she was very successful, and she got many awards, and she made a lot of people money too, books and movies, and people sold CDs on, and gave away a lot of stuff. She gave away a lot too. She didn't keep her money to herself. Some people, doesn't want to give up nothing, but she gave up a lot, and a lot of money, And I imagine that Oprah made a lot of money too. You know, but she was willing to give away some money too. You know, and you know, and but I think that she knew that our show wasn't going to make it without. I mean, those shows like My Mother Slept with My Boyfriend and shit like that. Yeah, she knew she wasn't going to be very successful with shows like that. I think she had to change that. I think she started out in the beginning with that, but I think she knew that she wasn't going to. The show wasn't going to be on TV very long with that type stuff. I think she talked about many different subjects. Then she had stars on the show, like Dr. Phil and Dr. Zukoff and all those. They talk about Seed of the Soul and Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and all of them that were on there, just to spice up the show a little bit, something different. Cooking shows. She did a lot. She talked about weight. She talked, I think she struggled with weight, and that wasn't like easy to do, and I think she's still kind of like struggling with that, because she picked up the weight back, but I think that Oprah probably got in touch with why she was eating like that. I think that she probably got in touch with that, why she was doing it. Sometimes we can overeat, because of our feelings or whatever, but I think she probably got in touch with that. She's not as big as she once was. So I think she probably got in touch with some of that, why she was eating that, like that. I don't think it's just about eat, because it's like a drug in some ways, We eat because the things that we going through, just like a different types of drugs, alcohol, cocaine, heroin, stuff like that, because we try to eat away our feelings, or drug away our feelings and stuff like that, or what we're going through and stuff like that. So food is nothing different. But again, I think she got in touch with that, but I think she is, she's not skinny, but I think she probably did get in touch with some of those feelings and why she was eating so much, like that was she was putting on the weight, and stuff like that. So that's nothing new. Like, but but I think she was the most successful woman that you saw, that you see now. I mean, I don't think she's the most successful woman. I think she's the most successful African American woman. When it comes to the public, I'm not sure about Africa and all that, because I think you got people who are in those countries that are African American, that are princesses and all that stuff, and they got a lot of money and stuff like that. But I would think Oprah is the most successful one that's in the public eye that we see. African American. Now, I'm not sure she's the most successful as far as a woman altogether, because I imagine that there's a lot of rich women out there, white women, even Puerto Rico or whatever, that are more that has more money than Oprah. Like that. But there's a lot of women, especially white women, that probably have a lot more money than Oprah. And you can't deny that. Like, you know, because, you know, Oprah is not the richest woman in the world. And you have to just accept that's the way it is. But I think she's the most richest African American when it comes to the public eye that you see in public. That you see in public. Now, in those off the way countries and stuff like that, women who are African American princesses and stuff like that, they probably may have more money than Oprah, but they're not so much in the public. But I'm talking about public. I think Oprah is the most successful African American woman that there is, and you can't deny that. You know, like that. Her and Stedman, you know, I remember she talking about what is she doing with him? He's so fine, this, that, and the other, and all this stuff. But you can't tell people who to fall in love with. I mean, you know. Early on when she met Stedman and all this stuff, you can't tell people who to fall in love with, no matter how they look, whatever. And why he got with her, I don't know. That remains to be seen, whatever, you know. Why he's with her, I don't know. But, you know, you can't tell people who to fall in love with, you know. You know, because I think people are jealous. I've seen people ask her, hey, why did you go all the way to Africa and spend your money? Why didn't you spend your money here? And she said, I can spend my money the way I want to. And she's right. She can do whatever she wants with her money. That's her money. And people was like, why you gotta go all the way to Africa to build this school and all this old stuff? She can spend her money the way she wants. It's her money. You know, and shit like that. I was like, how they gonna tell her what to do with her own money, man? She can spend her money the way she want. You know, but I think some people, you know, is jealous of her. I think there are a lot of people who's jealous of Oprah, you know, but you know. You know, but that's the reality of it. You know, I think some people are and some people isn't. But you can't tell her how to spend her money. That's her fucking money, and she can do whatever the fuck she want with it. It's hers. You know. At least she's giving. You know, at least she's giving. And you can't say that for a lot of people that got their money. They go and they store their money in the bank accounts and keep their money to them damn selves. At least she's giving. You know, at least she's doing something with it. You know, at least she's doing something with it, and she's not always thinking about herself. And I think she has a good heart. I think Oprah does have a good heart. You know, and at least she's not keeping all her money to herself. You know? At least she's giving some of it away. You know? Yeah. I think her sister sold her out, man. And, you know, her sister sold her out, you know, early on. She had a sister that her mother had gave away, and she couldn't take care of her, and she gave her away. But I mean, she had a sister that the mother did give away, but the other sister, there was Oprah had another sister and a brother, and her brother died of AIDS. And the other one, name was Pat, and so was the one. When the mother gave the other one name, that person named her Pat too. So Oprah had two sisters named Pat, but one had Oprah had the one that died. Was the one that sold Oprah out, man. She went to the press with Oprah shit, and you know how they pay off people, and they paid her off, and she gave up told stories about Oprah and shit like that. Gave up Oprah personal business to the press. And, you know, and shit like that. And Oprah, I think Oprah forgave her. And the reason she did it, Oprah was paying for her apartment. And Oprah found out that she was doing drugs or whatever. Oprah stopped the payment. And that's when she went to the press with Oprah personal shit. And she sold her out, man. And I think that Oprah, I think Oprah forgave her, because Oprah tried to get her off drugs and send her to rehabs and stuff like that. But I think that at some point, she didn't stop, and she ended up passing away. And, you know, and I think Oprah did what she could do. You know, but that's what I'm saying. Drug use is something, man. And you can't, I don't care how much money you spend, how much money you, how many times you try to help someone with that. You can't help them if they don't want it. That's why I talk about that how many times. The next time, you're not guaranteed that next time to get clean. You're not guaranteed that. And no matter how many times Oprah did it, she still didn't stop. No matter how many times Oprah tried to help her with rehab, she still didn't stop. And again, you're not guaranteed that next time. You know, you're not guaranteed that. And, you know, you're not guaranteed that. So, but I think she tried to help her as much as she could with that, even though she sold her out. And those stories in those places are willing to pay the money for the story. You know, those places are willing to pay the money for Oprah's story. And, you know, and I imagine that hurted her and stuff like that. And you know, I imagine that did hurt Oprah. Because I think it's already out there that Oprah had a baby. And she had lost that, the baby, and that probably was, you know, I don't know if that was a way for Oprah to start a new beginning. I think it was a way for her to start a new beginning, because we don't know if we would have really was introduced to Oprah. If Oprah would have had that baby and went off and maybe had more babies and this, that, and that, we probably would have never met Oprah. So I think, and I think it was a blessing in disguise that she lost the baby. I think it was a blessing in disguise, because we probably wouldn't have met Oprah if Oprah would have had the baby, and you know, we would have missed out on a jewel to the world. Like, we'd have missed out on that if Oprah would have had the baby and went off and had more kids or whatever, however she would have did it. But that baby, since she lost the baby, it probably was a blessing in disguise that she lost it, because God had better plans for Oprah. Like, and you know, He had better plans for her. And I think she did a great job with the plan God had for her. You know, like that. You know. But I think we would have missed out on a jewel. Thank God that it was a blessing in disguise that, I'm not saying that it was okay for her to lose the baby, but since she lost the baby, it probably was a blessing in disguise, because God had better plans for Oprah, and she followed the plan, man. Look at her now, man. $1 billion business, man. And like that. But I must admit, I never seen anybody like her, though. Oprah. Very intelligent, well-spoken, and giving of herself, and her money and stuff. Yeah, I never seen anybody like her before she stepped on the scene. I haven't seen anybody like her. That was African American. I think Bill Cosby gave his money, and stuff like that, but I'm talking about female. African American female. Like that. But I think she's very, very successful, and she's very, very smart, and she know what to do with her money. She's often making more money, and more money. Like that. And I remember when she got sued from the beef companies. Oh, I'll never eat it. She told on her show that she would never eat a thing because it was giving people certain kind of diseases eating that beef and shit like that, and they tried to sue her. But she won. I mean, people say shit about pork, beef, chicken, and people say all kinds of shit about those meats. And they didn't get sued. Only reason why Oprah got sued because she had this show and she said it on the show. That's why she got sued. She had that show. Oprah Winfrey had that show, and she said that she would never eat a burger, like that, or whatever. And because she had a TV show and she said it on the show, they was like, I'm suing her. I'm taking her to court because then she'll stop a lot of people from eating beef and this, that, and the other, and all this sort of stuff. But she ended up winning that case, man. People say shit about meat. All kinds of meats. They doesn't get sued. I don't eat pork or beef. I could say some shit about it. That don't mean I'm gonna be sued. I ain't got no money. You can't sue me. I ain't got no money. I don't eat pork or beef. But I think that because of her money, they was like, yeah, I'm taking her to court, see if I can get some money from her, yeah, and stuff like. But she ended up winning. But I know, I remember, Kim Zimmer was on there, and she was like, and she had the soap opera stars, and Kim Zimmer was like, thinking that she liked All My Children better than God Light, and she was asking them, the people with All My Children, Erica, more questions than God Light or whatever, and Kim Zimmer was okay with that. You got me on this show and you want to ask All My Children all the questions? Well, what's up with that? And stuff like that. But I think it was a way for Oprah to look at how she do those interviews. But I think Oprah cried a lot. I see her cry a lot. And that she wasn't afraid to show her emotions on TV, no matter what the topic was or whatever. And some people will hold back and shit, but not her. I think she's a touchy-feely type person that feels, pain or whatever. You know, and her relationship with Gail, that's her business. Some women need best friends, even if it's only one. Sometimes that's best. You know, but sometimes one is good enough. Yeah, but that's her business. I don't think that they say she may be gay and this that. I don't know about that. If she is, that's her business. I don't care. Uh, you know, um, you know. And open runner as president. Let me just say before I say something about that, but Oprah had more people on the show that were women, more than men, and most of her audiences were women. I think she had the highest rating people that watched her in Philadelphia, and she took a trip out in Philadelphia. She took her audience out to Philadelphia because she had the highest rating thing in Philadelphia. Um, um, she went out there. As far as her show, of course, because Oprah is a woman. Not mostly women are probably gonna watch Oprah. It's not like you gonna get all these men to watch her. I mean, I'm quite sure some men watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, but Oprah is a woman. And a lot of women watch talk shows and stuff like that. Not a lot of men are into that. So of course you're going to get a lot of women that watch the show. Yeah. As far as Oprah, people are trying to see if she would run for president. I think that Oprah will face the same problem Hillary faced if she run for president. And because of the woman factor, not a lot of men want a woman president. And it doesn't matter what the race. Hillary was white and she still didn't get elected. And will Oprah? I think Oprah will get a lot of women. I think even in Oprah one woman shows, I look to see who's in there. A lot of women are in there. And a lot of women were on her TV show audience. And I imagine that was watching at home too. So, and for her to run for president, I think she will have a problem with that, with the men. Because a lot of people might want to see her as a talk show host, but probably doesn't want to see her as president. And I think that she probably could give it a go, but she better have someone who's vice president that would draw the men. I think she would draw a lot of women for president, but I think that she probably would draw some men, but some men. But she will have to have the person that's running aside with her, that's running with her for vice president. She better have somebody there that's gonna draw all the men. It's I don't think it would be good for her just to draw all the women and no men. But she will have to have somebody there for vice president, like to get all the men. like, like that. She could go that route. Um, but then you'll say, well, he probably had to be more popular than she is. Like, just as popular. If she get a white person, he would have to be more popular than Oprah. And he would have to be white. Like that. He would have to be more popular than Oprah. Like that. In order to get the vote. The men vote. Like that. Because, again, not a lot of, men is going to vote for Oprah. And you might well say that, man. And that's the truth of it. Not a lot of men are going to vote for Oprah. Because a lot of men doesn't want to see a woman president. I don't care what race it is. Like, they doesn't want to see a woman president. And I think Hillary running for 2 times, shit. She didn't want either time. She ran up against a white and a black, and she still lost. She ran against Obama, and she ran against Trump, and she still lost. Like, and again, I think Oprah will face the same problem. And as more popular as Oprah is, I would think that again, I think she would get a lot of women. I'm not sure she would get a lot of men. But then the person that she's running with would have to draw all those men. A lot of men. And he would probably have to be just as popular as Oprah to get all the men. And will that person get it? I don't know, man. Again, he would have to be just as popular as Oprah to get all those men. Like that. I don't know if that will actually happen. Yeah. But again, I think a lot of people don't want to see a woman president. A lot of males doesn't want to see a woman president. Yeah. Is Oprah too smart for herself? I hear people say that, this, that, and the other, but I think she just earned what she is. She earned that. I mean, like, she earned the money that she's making. She earned that. I think she earned it. Regardless of who may be jealous of her, who think that she's too smart for herself or whatever. She earned that, man. And nobody can take it away from her, man. Nobody can take it away from her. She earned that. And I think people are jealous of her because she earned the money that she became who she is. It's not that just the money, the intelligence that Oprah have too. I think people are jealous of her. Yeah, because she made it to the top like that. And and they didn't see a black woman do that before. And I think they jealous of her to see that. You know, to see that. And you know, you know, and I think when it comes from Oprah being poor and all that stuff, and then she rises up to the top like that, I think people are jealous. I mean, you know, all I can say is that she earned it, man. You know, she earned it. You know, do she got a big head? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she got a big head, but I mean, what I'm saying is that I wonder if she let all that go to her head. I don't know. But I don't think that she's selfish in a way, because she gives away some of her money. You know, she can't be that selfish, big headed or whatever. I don't know if she's big headed behind the scenes and all that. I don't know about that. But if she's big headed, like I'm better than you because I make all this money, this, that, and the other. I don't know if she's like that. But I, because she gives away her money, she can't be that damn selfish. She's not that selfish if she give away some of her money. And she put it to use to help people with it. She helped family members. She helped people over the years buy books and CDs and DVDs, movies, and all kinds of products on her show. She helped millions. The Oprah Effect, I seen the Oprah Effect, man. She made a lot of people money, man. That were on her show, that came on her show and sold shit. She made a lot of people money. A lot of people. And it was a show called The Oprah Effect. I seen that. I was like, man, look all that money she made, those people, man. That came on her show and sold shit. Sold products. She made a lot of people money, man. Not just herself. She made a lot of people money, too. I think she's $1 billion business now, and she's still out there making money, man. She do the one-woman shows and this, that, and the other. I think she's taking it to another level, see if she can try. I see her sometimes, talking about different topics by herself without the show. Without the show, she talks about she gives advice and talks about different topics and stuff like that. She's going that route. Hey, if she can pull it off, go for it. If people go for it, and stuff like that, she can go down many different routes with her money, man. I mean, like, if she can, if she is selling, maybe people will buy, like that. But I must admit that she was one woman that I seen that was very, black woman, that was very intelligent. And she had good communication skills, man. And that she used that to be very, very successful. She used it to be very, very successful. When it came to the African American woman, very, very successful. I don't know nobody that did that. That was African American. I know there are a lot of singers and actors and stuff like that, and poets and civil rights and all that. But for her to do that and come out of TV, come from television, and remain in television, she remains in television. She doesn't like. She didn't leave that. She continued to stay in that, even if she sell other different products for different companies and all. I remember one time they wanted her to be, they wanted to use Oprah name on the book. She said no. Oprah put out her own book. You know, I think it's monthly. Her monthly book that a magazine that she put out every month. But someone had asked her before that, and could they use her name to sell their books, you know, and stuff like that. She said no, because she knew, because they knew that Oprah had a fan base, and that she would sell a lot of magazines and books and stuff like that. And she told them no. And she put out her own book and magazine and stuff like that. Put out her own magazine. Like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, because she can, you know, she's a product, man. And she can market herself the way she wants. And stuff like that. And I see that she made a lot of money. And she continued to make a lot of money. You know, but I think a lot of people are jealous of her. You know. I think a lot of people are jealous of Oprah, man. But one thing I didn't like that she did with Monique. I didn't like what she did with Monique, man. Monique. Oprah wanted to interview her Monique brother about sexually molesting Monique, and Monique they didn't she didn't tell her that her mother was going to be on the show, and she knew she had problems with her mother, and Oprah did not tell her that her mother was going to be on the show. And she kept that from Monique. And she called her and told her and asked her, is it okay for me to interview your brother about molesting you? If she called her enough to tell her that, why didn't she tell her that her mother and father was going to be on the show too? If she called her to tell her that she was going to interview the brother, why didn't she tell her that her mother and brother was going to be on the show? Her mother and father was going to be on the show too. And I was like, man, she didn't even tell her that. Was she afraid that Monique would have said no? I don't know, but she didn't. But she didn't tell Monique that. And then Monique asks her, runs into her again, and asks and asks her, why didn't you tell me that? And stuff like that. But I think Monique felt that she she didn't tell her. She wasn't honest enough to tell her that her mother and father. You know what? When it comes to those interviewers and ratings, and I ain't even just talking about Oprah, but it's a lot of those places, man. They are deceiving, man. They they get you on there and ask you to be on the show and this, that, and the other, and try to ask you all these type questions and shit like that. And you had no idea that they was going to do that shit until they got you sitting down there. And they do it for ratings, but they do it, you know. And I remember a question that Whitney Houston's mother was on the show, and Oprah had asked her a question about Bobby Brown or whatever, and shit like that, and Sissy looked at her like, I don't believe she asked me this damn question, you know, and shit like that. But again. It's the games that they play, like those interviewers. It's a game. You know, when they go out and buy, like the woman that Diane Diamond. I think. Well, I'm not even gonna say it was Diane Diamond, but it was one of those interviews that they got the woman. Before she took the stand in the Ojay case, she had seen Ojay riding down the wrong way to the street, and sold the story. Now here's two bodies is in the morgue. And she sells the story. The prosecution could have used her in the trial. And she sold the story. She sold the story. The prosecution could have used her against Ojay. Because she said, this is what she said. She seen Ojay riding down the wrong way of the street. Ojay claims he was home that day. That day. He was home. He was home all day or whatever. He was home. He claimed that he was home. But she says she seen Ojay riding down the wrong way of the street. Coming home, he was coming home, and she seen him riding down the wrong way of the street. Now, if he claims that he's home, now this is the time period where Ojay could have ran and committed the murders, and he's on his way back home, to get in the house before he's being seen, and the woman said that she saw Ojay riding down the wrong way of the street. Now, she says she's seen him. He was riding around because he's trying to hurry up and get back into the house, and to ride down the wrong way of the street would have been the quickest way to get to the house without being seen. Like that. See, he could have took the long way, which is the right way, so that way he wouldn't have to ride down the wrong way of the street. But he did not do that. He rode down the wrong way of the street, trying to hurry up back into the house before he's being seen, because his thing is that he was home. He was home. He wasn't out and about in the streets. So he claims that he was home. But this woman says she's seen him riding down the wrong way of the street and telling her to get out of his way. At that, but she took and sold that story, her story, even if it's true, she sold it to one of those TV talk shows, and the prosecution couldn't use her. because then they would have brought her in the trial. Hey, didn't you sell that story? Yes. How much did they pay you? You know, and the jury, because she sold it, the jury probably wouldn't believe her, or because she sold it for money, then it could have been in question, like, was it true or was it false? You know, like that, and the jury probably would have looked at it like that. And so the prosecution couldn't use her. Like, here, 2 bodies is in the morgue. And she sold the story, man. And Ojay, you know, Ojay claimed he, but with the, let me just say with the Ojay thing, that story with the woman seeing him riding down the runway street, that story, and the limo driver, the same night. So if she seen him driving down the wrong way street, he's trying to hurry up and get in the house. Now at this point, the limo driver is waiting on him. He's waiting on him. The limo driver drives up to the front gate. He buzzed in. Ojay does not come to the buzzing or the front door. You know, like if somebody buzzed in, it's probably like the speaker thing. But then Ojay, he's looking up at the door to see if Ojay comes to the door. Ojay never came to the door. Now it's the same amount of time that the woman sees him riding down the wrong way of the street, trying to hurry up into the house. Right? So when the limo driver gets there, Ojay is not there. He said he's buzzing in trying to get Ojay so he can so Ojay can open up the gate. Ojay never opened up the gate. Never answered the comm or opened up the gate or nothing. So that tells you that Ojay probably wasn't there yet. Yeah, because see, Ojay was trying to hurry up because he knew the limo driver was waiting on him to come to the house. He knew, so he's trying to hurry up to get to the house, telling that woman to get out of his way, so he can hurry up and get to the house to get the limo driver. And the limo driver says he pulls up to the same night, the same day, the same night. He pulls up and to the intercom thing, the ring the thing, and Ojay never even answered. So he said he stood outside smoking a cigarette and continued to look up at the door. So Ojay, like, see if he sees Ojay come out to the front of the in front of the house, so he can see him, so he can buzz him in. Ojay never even buzzed him in. He didn't even see Ojay. He's still sitting out for Ojay to open up the gate. Ojay never even opened up the gate. Never buzzed in. No, nothing. No, open up the gates. See, Ojay is trying. If Ojay was out, he's trying to hurry up and get to the house. That's why the woman see him riding down the wrong way of the street. He's trying to hurry up and get to the house to get to the limo driver. And the limo driver arrives before Ojay got back. And so he's standing outside. So he's standing outside smoking a cigarette. And here is where he said he seen a tall, dark figure go into the house and all the lights came on. Downstairs. He said he sees Ojay. Like a tall, dark figure. Tall, dark. Go into the house and all the lights came on. Downstairs. And that's not the only thing. It was Cato too. When OJ got back onto the property, when he got back, before he sees the limo driver, when he got back on the property, he had to go through this long alleyway. OJ bumps into the air conditioner going down that long alleyway, and because Cato is in the cottage, he bumps into Cato's air conditioning in that long alleyway and knocked his picture off the wall, trying to hurry up and get through that alleyway without Cato seeing it, because again he claiming he was in the house all along, right? So if anybody I'm gonna believe with the OJ thing is the girl that seen him riding down the wrong way of the street, Cato knocking off the picture off the wall by coming through, hurry up and trying to get to his car. He had to go through that alleyway to get to his cottage, get to his house, because Cato is the cottage is in the back of the house or whatever. He had to go through that alleyway to get to his house, his part of the house, his house, because Cato was in a cottage and somewhere on the property, but OJ had to come through that alleyway. He bumps into the air conditioner, knocks the picture off the wall, while he's sitting there on the phone talking to his girlfriend, like that. And this is where, once he came through that alleyway, this is where the limo driver sees a tall, dark figure goes into the house, and all the downstairs lights came on, like that. And like that. If anybody I'm gonna believe is that woman that saw him riding down the wrong way the street, and the limo driver. Because he, again, if OJ is out, and you're going to believe that woman said that she saw him riding down the wrong way the street, and then the limo driver see a tall, dark figure go into the house, because he's standing outside the gate, looking up at the house to see if OJ is going to come and to open up the gate. OJ never even opened up the gate. While he's standing out there, eventually he opens up the gate after he's seen the tall, dark figure goes into the house, and all the lights came on downstairs, and then he gonna act like he been in there all along, and eventually let the open up the gate for the limo driver to go in the house. Go onto the property and go around to the front of the house, and shit like that. If anybody I'm gonna believe, I'm probably gonna believe the lady that said that she saw him driving down the wrong way the street, and the limo driver. The limo driver, because again, if OJ is out, if he did what he did to his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman, he's trying to hurry up and get back in the house to get the limo driver, so that the limo driver, would support what he said. But the limo driver got there before OJ got back. The limo driver got there before OJ got back to the house. If he went and committed those murders, and he's riding down the wrong way the street trying to hurry up back in the house and get the limo driver, because then he'll say the limo driver came in to get me and I was there, but the limo driver said, hey, he wasn't there when I ringed there, because no one came, he didn't ring me in. I've been standing out there smoking a cigarette waiting on him. And then he sees the tall, dark figure goes into the house, not come out, go into the house, and the lights, came on downstairs after that. If anybody I'm gonna believe is probably the woman that seen him driving down the wrong way the street, and the limo driver. Those two I probably would believe. If OJ committed those murders, those two I probably would believe. And stuff like that. But I don't know if OJ actually did it. But if anybody, if I'm going to believe anybody, it's those two. I can't believe what OJ say. Um, but if anybody, I'm gonna believe it's those two, because if those two seem, because he's claimed he's home, he been home all along. How did the lady see him riding down the wrong way street, and why did the limo driver see somebody walk in the house, not come out? He sees him walk in, and then all the lights came on. The lights should have been on. If you're in the house, why isn't the lights on anyway? I mean, like, come on. So anybody gonna believe is probably the limo driver and the lady that seen him riding down the wrong way of the street. Because, but this will only, to me, that will only let me know that he was trying to hurry up back in the house without being seen. And he was trying to get the limo driver, get there before the limo driver arrives. So he can say, hey, limo driver, wasn't I there when you came? And shit like that. And because OJ wasn't there when the limo driver arrived. I didn't see him. He didn't, I didn't, when I came there, no one answered. And I'm busy buzzing in for him to open up the gate. And no buzz, OJ didn't respond because, he probably wasn't there. Like that. And then he say he sees a tall, dark figure goes into the house, and all the lights came on after that. After you see the tall, dark figure goes into the house, not out. Not come out, go in. So if I'm gonna believe that that woman that seen him riding down the wrong straight of the street and trying to hurry up in the house and he's telling her to get out of his way because he's trying to get there before the limo driver arrives. And that will be his thing. If he had got there before the limo driver, and then the limo driver say, hey, he was there when I got there. But OJ wasn't there when he got there because he didn't answer the buzzer thing, nor did he open up the gate. Like that. So that's why he was trying to tell the woman to get out of his way, because he's trying to hurry up and get back into the house before he's really actually being seen that he was out that night. He's trying to hurry up and get back in the house so he can get the limo driver. And because he wasn't there when the limo driver came. See, he's trying to hurry up and get there before the limo driver arrives. But he did not get there before the limo driver arrived. He came after. It was after. He seen OJ after he arrives. Like that. He seen the limo driver when he came in the house, and stuff like that. So if anybody I'm gonna believe, I probably would believe the limo driver and the woman that seen him riding down the wrong way of the street that day. Before the murders, he's coming from the murders. If he committed those murders, he's coming from committing the murders. If he committed the murders, he's coming from committing the murders, trying to hurry up back to the house without being seen, and someone sees him riding down the wrong way of the street, and he's hurrying up trying to get, he went the wrong way to hurry up in the house so he can get the limo driver. So the limo driver can say, oh yeah, he was there when I got there, but he wasn't. But OJ wasn't there when he got there because he didn't buzz him in. Like that. But I think he's telling her to hurry up and get out of his way because he's trying to get there before the limo driver arrives. Because then they will ask him, hey, was OJ there when you arrived? And the limo driver said no. He didn't buzz me in when I arrived, like that. See, that made me think that OJ was not there. You know, because why didn't he buzz him in if he was there? He knew he was coming. That's why he was trying to hurry up back to the house. OJ knew the limo driver was hurry up. That's why he's trying to tell the woman to get out of his way. Get out of my way. I'm trying to hurry up back in. He's trying to hurry up back in the house to get there before the limo driver arrives. So he could say that, was OJ there when you got there? Yes. If the limo driver had when the limo driver came, he was. If OJ was there, he would have said yes, OJ was there. But the limo driver said no. I didn't see him. When I buzzed in, no one came. No one answered the buzzer, the gate, or nothing. Because OJ had to open up the gate electronically so that the limo driver can go and come around to the front of the door, where the door is. But no one answered. No one answered. That kind of told me that OJ was not there when the limo driver arrived. You know, he wasn't there. He's trying to hurry up back into the house. I don't think he got there before the limo driver arrived. He got there after the limo driver arrived. And that's when he said he seen a tall, dark figure go into the house. And all the lights downstairs came on. You know, that's why he was telling that woman to get out of his way, because he's trying to hurry up back in the house. And if he committed those murders, he's going down the wrong way of the street, because that is the fastest way to get to the house. Driving down the wrong way of the street was the fastest way to get to the house, to get to the limo driver before the limo driver arrived. Because then the limo driver, they'll ask the limo driver, was OJ there when you got there? You know, like that. And the answer is no. I mean, he didn't come to the door when I buzzed in. He didn't open up the gate. You know, he told them. He said, when I arrived, no one came, no one answered the buzzer, no one opened the gate or nothing, because I sat out there smoking a cigarette, waiting on him to buzz him in, and OJ never even buzzed him in. And he said he kept looking up at the door to see if OJ, because I think OJ knew that the limo driver was coming in. That's why he was telling that woman to get out of his way so he can hurry up and get in the house before the limo driver arrives. Because then his excuse or his story would be, hey, limo driver, wasn't I there when you arrived? You know, and stuff like that. And OJ didn't get there before the limo driver arrived. He didn't get there before the limo driver. See, OJ couldn't use that. He couldn't use that part. He couldn't say to the limo driver, wasn't I there when you got there? You know, like that. OJ couldn't use that because I think he was there when the limo driver arrived. You know, but hey. You know, and they answered him. He said, no one answered. No one answered the buzzer or open up the gate for me to go and come around to the front of the door. No one buzzed me in. I'm waiting for OJ to buzz me in and all this other stuff. And OJ knew that the limo driver was coming. That's why he was trying to hurry up back to the house, because he knew that the limo driver was waiting, was coming to the house. He knew the limo driver was coming to the house, and he tried to get there before the limo driver arrives. But he did not make it there before the limo driver arrived. He did not make it. He came after the limo driver arrived. You know, like that. It makes me wonder, you know, if anybody I'm gonna believe in, if Ojay committed those murders, if anybody I'm gonna believe is the woman that seen him riding down the wrong way of the street trying to hurry up back into the house, and the limo driver. You know, like that. You know, yeah. But and then Cato seen him, heard him, and bumped into it and knocked the picture off the wall coming through that alleyway. You know, and shit like that. You know, I don't know. I think those three, you know, kind of tell me that it's possible that Ojay did commit those murders, but I don't know if he really actually did. It's possible. It's possible. But he ain't got to answer to us now. He got to answer to God if he did it. He was acquitted. So he can tell us stories all day long that he didn't do it. But God knows who done it. And I'm like that. And you can't tell him he didn't do it. If he did do it, he can't tell God he didn't do it. You know, like that. He can tell us he didn't do it. But he can't tell God he didn't do it. You know, like that. You know?